Alright guys, in today's video, I'm going to break down why building a personal brand is the best way to get rich in 2025. This works from whether you're starting from $0 a month, $10,000 a month, 100,000, even a million plus. And by the end of this video, my goal is to get you to understand why this is important, why it works, and how to get started today. Fundamentally, guys, people buy from people that they trust, and these people here are faces that you'll recognize who are behind the brands that they are leveraging to make money. Iman Gadzhi is synonymous with his brand now is not so connected to what he was doing before, but he was selling SMMA courses. Hamza Ahmed has a huge school community that was generating 260K a month, if I remember correctly, in monthly recurring revenue. Alex Hormozi is one of the business goats online and has scaled his business to an insane amount of numbers and has his own company now where he acquires and consults and helps companies grow even further. Shelby Sapp is a sales coach who has a sales coach academy that helps girls specifically get into high ticket sales. Logan Paul, I mean, if you know who he is, which I'm sure you do, his brand Prime has completely taken off purely because he's had the name to back it. If you're looking at any of these logos here, I don't know if they're real or not, I just pulled them off the internet, but the point is these random logos don't speak to people directly, and they're not as powerful as the individuals who are founding the company and backing what they're talking about and helping to promote their offers at scale. And if you don't believe me, I'll prove it to you right now. Take 30 seconds, pause the video, do whatever you need to do, open up any social media platform that you're active on, go through the people that you're following, and I'm willing to bet at least 90% of the accounts you're following are actual people, not random brands. Sure, if you're a diehard fan of someone like Alex Hormozi, I bet you're probably following his acquisition.com page, but the point is you're more likely to be following him on his YouTube channel, his Instagram, his X, whatever it is, rather than his actual brand. Here's a long list of why building personal brand is the meta these days, and it starts off with building trust at scale. You're able to do this and connect with an audience in a much deeper level than you can with just a random branded profile, as opposed to putting your name out there, because fundamentally people want to get to know you, not just some random logo. It allows you to get customers from anywhere in the world. Obviously, if you're selling a physical product, you have limited reach, but the point is, with the internet, you're able to reach people on all the corners all over the globe, and you can sell in a way that you couldn't before. Building a personal brand also allows you to sell high ticket offers at lower quantities and still make 10K, 50K, 100K plus a month, even with just a couple clients. There will also be tons of doors that are being opened that you would have never been able to unlock because people will just find you and they'll reach out, and you have a ton of opportunities that you would have never gotten if you were like completely anonymous. The barrier to entry is also extremely low. You don't need a ton of money to start a personal brand. All you really need is an iPhone, which I'm willing to bet you have, and a little bit of determination, and you'll be good to go. Your content will sell for you on autopilot because once it goes up on social media, people can find that content over and over and watch it years later down the line, which will help people find out who you are and go to your sales page and eventually become a customer as well. In my opinion, saturation is complete bullshit. There's a reason why there are tons of micro-influencers out there that you've never heard of who have less than 5K followers, yet they're pushing $25,000, $30,000 a month in revenue, purely because they're able to monetize and capture a small, unique, and very specified group of audience and help them with their problems, and they're able to monetize that without having to get millions of followers. And yes, this works in any industry. You don't have to be working in a specific industry in order for this to work, but obviously, if you're selling something online, a digital product, an info product, those are the easiest ways to build a personal brand and scale it, but this works also with pretty much anything. Your personal brand will build a safety net for you and will allow you to eventually have a huge, strong customer base and a loyal following, where eventually if you need to pivot later down the line and change your business model or start a completely new business, you'll have that flexibility to do so because you already have something that is super essential to growing any business, which is attention and awareness. I kind of said this already, but you don't need as many followers as you probably think, and I'll explain that further in just a second. Organic growth also compounds with time, guys. If you keep going and build a really, really strong, loyal following, you will be able to sell more and more as time goes on as you continue to build this brand and this relationship with your potential client. And the number one benefit that I didn't talk about before, I dedicated an entire slide to this, is a parasocial relationship effect, which is what is happening right now. Whenever you're watching somebody's videos and getting to know them, you're building a one-sided relationship with this person, whereas they're talking to you and sharing their experiences, and you feel like you're getting to know them without them actually having to spend physical time with you, which is not scalable, whereas videos can be made once and viewed by millions and millions of people. And having conversations with millions and millions of people, on the other hand, is pretty much impossible. I want you to think about who you idolize most on the internet, and just think about how much you feel like you know that person just because you spent so much face time with them over the internet, just watching their videos and consuming their content. This right here isn't talked about by many people, but is ultimately the reason why personal branding is so powerful. And of course, there are cons, just like with any business model. And I thought of three main ones that I think are pretty heavy hitting. And the first one is obviously like it takes a little bit of time to get used to being in front of camera. I'm not super comfortable in front of camera, and I'm sure that after this video, I'll be getting better every time as I go. But it takes time to learn how to do it right, because at the end of the day, also just publishing random content doesn't work. So you have to have a strong foundation and a strategy behind it in order for it to actually work. It's absolutely not a get-rich scheme. While there are people who do get rich within a couple months of getting started because they have a really solid strategy, and to be honest, they have a little bit of luck that has allowed them to gain all the traction that they need in order to monetize their audience. But I don't want to put too much emphasis on the luck, because at the end of the day, if you go viral and you don't have a mechanism to actually capture leads and turn them into eventual clients, you're just getting famous for nothing. And the last thing is scrutiny. When you put yourself out there, people on the internet will just take whatever they can and give you shit for it. And that's just the harsh reality of it. So you have to be really aware of this potential risk, because it can affect your mental health if you're not ready for it. And guys, these are some common misconceptions that I want you to get out of your head immediately, because these limiting beliefs are what are holding you back and preventing you from making tons of money online. The first one is you need millions of followers to make money. That is absolutely not true, as I said before, and I'll get into more later. You ultimately want to look at your following on a dollar value per follower that you have. And there are tons of people out there who have millions of followers who don't make any money because they built their personal brand in a way that doesn't allow them to monetize it. The second one is a lot of people think no one cares what I have to say. Guys, that is also garbage. We are all unique individuals with our own unique experiences, and the way that you communicate your ideas will resonate more with certain audiences than other people who are trying to deliver the same message. And the third thing is a lot of people think that they need to be some super qualified PhD expert in a specific niche in order to be able to talk about it. That absolutely isn't true. As long as you know more than the average person, you're going to be able to educate and entertain and eventually monetize this specific audience. Ironically, by being a little bit closer to the average person that you're trying to help, you will be more relatable to them as opposed to somebody who's levels ahead of them. And the last is views equal money. That's completely wrong. Of course, if you're making videos and you're making money off of AdSense, there are little nuances, like depending on the niche that you're speaking in, your video length and stuff. Social media platforms will pay you to allow showing ads on your videos. But the best way to make money with a personal brand is actually to use it to build a business on the back end and not just make money off of AdSense. It is a great way to make money on the side, but it isn't going to be the thing that is going to fuel your growth in the long term. And here's how you can get started in just 5 steps. The first one being, what problem I'm going to solve. Write down the overarching problem that you're going to help people with, and then break it down into individual steps of little things that somebody needs to do in order to achieve their desired result. Who are the people struggling with this problem? Be as specific as you can. The more specific you can go, the more money you can actually make. And the third thing is, how do I attract more of these people? If you're somebody who's selling B2B services, Facebook or Instagram may not be your solution. LinkedIn, on the other hand, is really powerful for this. Whereas if you're somebody who sells clothes or apparel, Instagram and TikTok will be more powerful for you. Step 2, I added this step particularly because a lot of people struggle with creating content ideas, and it doesn't have to be that complicated. These are 3 main ways that we do this with our clients, and it's like super easy and can be done in literally 30 minutes. The first thing is to go on Google and ask a specific question about your niche. You scroll down to the people also ask section, just open the box a bunch of times, and you can see here I just searched how to make money online with AI. And here are other questions that people are also asking. The reason why this works so well is because people are literally Googling these other questions too, meaning that there's a market for people who are looking for these answers. So if you start making content around these questions and solving this problem, you're going to have an audience already based off that. The second thing is obviously to leverage other people in your niche who are crushing it and are making things work for them. So this is a platform that we like to use. It's called Viral Finder. We have no affiliation to them, but essentially what you do on there is you go on and you find the leading people in your niche. You're gonna have to do a little bit of research to find out who they are, but if you're really passionate about something, you probably already watch their content, so it shouldn't be that hard. Go onto their profiles, find their best performing content, scroll through, watch them, understand the hooks that they're using, the pacing of their videos, the video style, the way they're explaining stuff. Is it like short and punchy? Is it listicles? Are they like super in detail? Is it very visual? Take note of all these little nuances to find out what exactly is working for them so that you can take the best parts and use it in your own content. And the third thing is something that a lot of people overlook, but just having conversations. So if you have existing customers already, ask your customers for feedback on things that they wish that they knew early on, or some things that they may even still be confused about, even though you're helping them through something. These specific questions will be really great bottom of funnel content, which will help get you some really, really qualified leads for your business as well. If you don't have any customers, ask your followers. Just post up a story and ask people for actual questions and things that they're struggling with, and you'll be amazed how many people are actually going to ask specific questions that they're struggling with that others are also struggling with too. And if you're a complete beginner and you haven't started doing this at all and you're just thinking about starting your business for the first time, ask any friends and family about this specific industry that you're planning on starting your business in. They'll have pretty good beginner-friendly questions that you can use right out the gate to make your first pieces of content. The third step, obviously, is to start making content. You just have to get in front of the camera, and the best way to do this is to answer one problem, give one solution every time per video. I'm talking about this in the context of using video as the primary driver for this, is whether it be long form or short form content. I really think that short form content these days is the most powerful thing that you can use because everybody is scrolling all day. And if you're able to master the short form content game, you're going to be flooding your business with leads. But the key is to not overwhelm people and talk about too many things in one video. Just make it very direct and talk about one thing at a time. The fourth thing is that you want to start providing people with free lead magnets. Essentially what you're doing is you're giving something of value that usually some people would charge for completely free to build people's trust and to actually help them really early on without asking for any money. And this can be in the form of a freebie, a guide, a free part of your service. Like if you have an all-encompassing service, if you do one part of that actual service for free, that is a really great thing to do because a lot of your competition would never have the balls to do that. And so by doing that, you're going to have a lot more people coming in through the door. And if you're able to make this free thing better than your competition, believe me when I say this, you're going to be getting so many more clients than they will. You can make a newsletter, you can have a free training, you can have a free consultation call. It doesn't really matter what it is, but have it be something of value that is free. So in this case, if you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen this 5 habits lead magnet, where essentially we break down the 5 habits that you need in order to build a personal brand. And we break down these 5 simple steps that you should be doing on a regular basis in order to make building a personal brand effortless, because a lot of people see a lot of friction there. So we figured that some people need some help to develop these habits and make their life a lot easier. So guys, if we look at a sales funnel on a really broad level, essentially your social media posts will work on the awareness and the interest side of things. So people will be obviously becoming more aware of you and your brand and your offer just by consuming your content. And once they have some level of interest, they'll be able to take a decision to actually collect your free lead magnet, and they'll be even further down the funnel where eventually you want to get them to action where they're going to be buying your product. And the best way to create a lead magnet is to look at the solution that you're providing to people at a high level and then breaking it down to little steps. It could be more than 5 problems here, but I just did 5 for the sake of this video, but this could be 15, 20, 30 different problems that somebody's having, and then creating a lead magnet for each of those problems or just one of them in particular. And the reason why this works really well too is because naturally the progression is that somebody will consume this free lead magnet. They'll be like, great, now I've solved this part of the problem. And then they're going to look and say, wow, I have to solve problems 1, 2, 4, and 5 in order to get to the ultimate stage that they want to be at. And if you're hesitant about giving out free value for people that aren't actually paying you for it, take Alex Hormozi as an example of somebody who's made a ton of money who swears by giving things out for free. And he said it best: a buying decision is based on a prediction of future value. The best way to make someone confident that they'll get value after they buy is to provide value before they buy. Make your free stuff so good that people feel like it got leaked from behind a paywall. This may be the most counterintuitive advice you've ever heard, but believe me when I say this, this is the key that is going to make you so much more money than if you never were to offer something for free. Because you're going to be providing something of value to somebody that they would usually have to pay for, but instead you've given it to them for free. And now you're going to have them thinking literally in their head, if this is what I can get for free, imagine how much more I can get if I were to actually pay them. Great. Now, so once you have somebody consuming your lead magnet, you want to make sure that it's really clear and easy on how they can proceed and get to the next step. You want them to eventually get from the lead magnet stage to the next step, which is taking action and purchasing your paid service. You can have a whole array of different products that are like from lower ticket, like something from less than $50 just to get them through the door, and then eventually upsell them on even more services as well. The way that you can do this is to make clear call to actions at the end of your lead magnet to make it super simple for your prospects to take the next step in your sales funnel, which is eventually to either book a free call or a sales call or a discovery call. You can give them an exclusive discount or a special offer for somebody who's received this lead magnet, so that they feel naturally like they're being rewarded for consuming this piece of content or this piece of knowledge that you're providing them, and then bringing it to the next level. And then taking the next step, which is going to your sales page. At the end of the day, you just need to make it easy. Make it as frictionless as possible from somebody consuming your lead magnet to taking the next step and going to your sales page or booking a call with you, making the purchase, whatever it may be. So to wrap it up, essentially what you're going to want to do is plan your personal brand. Go back throughout this video, watch the first step, plan out your personal brand, answer the questions that I brought up earlier, find out who exactly you want to target and how you're going to help them. The second thing is to create ideas for your videos so that you can't make the excuse of not having content ideas, because believe me, you can talk about so many more things than you could possibly realize. The third, obviously, is to make the content to get the awareness to your product in the first place. And the fourth is, I made a typo. It's to create lead magnets to provide even further value before somebody buys, so that they can make that prediction, like Alex Hormozi was talking about future value and what it's like to become a client of yours. And the fifth thing is to funnel all of your traffic so you can finally get some paying customers. If you found this video useful, go to the first link in the description below. I made a free 7-day course that'll walk you through a step-by-step, day-by-day plan on how you can actually get your personal brand started in just a week. And if you're interested in building and scaling your personal brand, the second link will be to book a call so that you can work with me directly, and we'll build an entire strategy together to help build your business even further by creating a personal brand.